Then I hear like the bottom bunk, like creak, what's happening down there. Instead of just like not looking, like curiosity, got the best of me. So I lean over, y'all, and this thing is like leaned over her. It's not in the bed with her, but it's like if it was kneeling beside her, and it's just going like dragging down her jeans. It sounded like that. So I'm looking down at this thing, hearing this, and then I look at my friend. I freeze, right? So this goes on for a long time. It was me still peeking over the side, like looking, and you hear like, and then she just stops, and then like retreats and sucks back under that bottom bunk.
Hello there, and thanks for tuning in to episode 57 of Your Ghost Stories. Nice to see you guys have been enjoying more of the Haunted Britain posts that I've been doing on social media. If you have any suggestions for haunted spots with cool ghost stories that you think I should visit, please do let me know on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube. If you're new here, you can find us everywhere at Your Ghost Stories Podcast. On today's episode, we have a terrifying story from Tiffany in the States. I know you're going to love this one, so sit back, dim down the lights, and enjoy.
Your Ghost Story. Your Ghost Story.
It's the early 90s, and Tiffany is in 5th grade. A new family had just moved into the area, and Tiffany's parents knew the parents of the newcomers. So to make them feel welcome and get the children acquainted, the adults had arranged a sleepover for the kids.
Well, she was in 6th grade. She was a year older than me, and she had 2 younger sisters. She was there like 2 weeks or something like that, and they set up like a slumber party sleepover thing or whatever. I get over to her house, but first let me add, her house was out in the middle of nowhere. And it was a log cabin that her dad had built, and it was like this 2-story lofty type cabin thing. And her parents were upstairs, but her dad had made like in the girls' room like built-in bunk beds in the wall, so they were like 3 high, right? And the little sister was going to sleep on the floor, and I was going to sleep in the middle. So you had to like climb the ladder on the outside of the beds and then like climb into the bed, which I thought was cool, I was fine with it. But immediately when I got to the house that day, it was like heavy, and it kind of felt like something was like the air was thick or something. She kept acting weird the whole time that I was there, and she would like look to the left and right and back and forth, and I'm like, what are you looking at? And she's like, oh, nothing. And then the little sister goes, she sees this woman. Ghosts weren't like new to me, but I knew this didn't feel like a ghost. It felt like something else, where I could see like this dark shadow like show up and then like go away, and then around the corner I saw like these fingers come around the edge and then around the door frame, but they weren't like regular fingers. They were like these really elongated black, like, and the nails weren't pointy, they were longer, but they looked like they had been like digging in something. They were like a brown dirt. This was like scary, whatever it was. So I'm already like planning my escape. Like I'm already like, okay, I'm gonna wait till bedtime and I'm gonna call my mom and I'm gonna say I'm sick or something so she has to come and get me. We were out there, like I said, in the middle of nowhere, and then her dad was like, oh man, the phones are messed up again, and he comes in for like dinner, and I'm like, what do you mean the phones are messed up? So this was like 91, 92, I guess, something like that. And he's like, yeah, they get down sometimes. And I'm like, well, what if I need to go home? And he said, well, I'll take you home, it's fine if you need to go home. And I'm like, oh my God, I am stuck out here. right? Like, I'm not going to be like, hey, I need you to take me home, because my dad would have, like, ripped me a new one. Like, y'all know that he was mean, and he would have been so mad if I would have made this guy bring me home for nothing, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to stay here. Well, that night, we go to get into bed, and she has jeans on. And I'm like, why are you sleeping in jeans? And she said, because I can't feel her scratch my legs in jeans. I'm like, feel who? What do you mean? Who? That little sister goes, the girl that she sees scratches her legs at night. Oh my God. You know, like, oh my God, what do you mean? Well, is she going to try to scratch my legs? And she said, no, because you're in the middle bunk, she only gets my... You've got to be kidding me, right? You got to be kidding me. Well, we play games, we do whatever, and the whole time I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to see this woman. I've already, like, seen her hands. Like, what am I going to do? And climb up, we go to get in bed. I'm not tired at all, like, not at all. And all I can think about is this woman, right? Like, why is my friend in jeans to keep from feeling her hands? Like, what is going to happen? And under the bottom bed, there was like a nook thing, you know, for like storage or whatever. So something could get under that. So I climb up this ladder thing. I'm getting like sweaty just talking about it. That was horrible. I climb up the ladder, I get in the middle bunk, so I'm trapped. It felt like I was in a coffin or something, you know, because the bed was above me and there was a bed below me, so I'm in this box in the wall, and I'm like, I can't. I was having like a panic attack. I'm like, oh my God, I can't sleep in here. They had it total darkness, no noise, no anything but fear, right? The only thing I could hear was like my heart slamming in my chest, and like my ears were like womp, 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 you know. I'm like, oh my God. Then I hear like the bottom bunk like creak, you know, what's happening down there. And instead of just like not looking, like curiosity, you know, got the best of me. So I lean over, y'all, and this thing is like leaned over her. It's not in the bed with her, but it's like if it was kneeling beside her, and it's just going like dragging down her jeans. It sounded like that, you know, like dragging down jeans. So I'm looking down at this thing, hearing this, and then I look at my friend. I freeze, right? So this goes on for a long time. It was me still peeking over the side, like looking, and you hear like, and then she just stops, and then like retreats and sucks back under that bottom bunk. Turns out they had a Ouija board in that nook underneath the bed, that she had made a homemade Ouija board underneath the bed. Horrible. Horrible. I have never been so scared in my life. Let's just say I made it through the night. First thing in the morning, I was like, I'm ready to go, because my mom wasn't supposed to come get me till like noon. This was like 9 o'clock, and he's like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, I don't feel good. Can you just take me home? I didn't care at that point what my dad said or did. I wanted to get the hell out of that log cabin in the woods. So he takes me home. I tell my mom, and she's like, well, you don't have to go back again. I'm like, no, I'm never going back.
Your ghost story. Your ghost story.
Damn, what a story. A huge thanks to Tiffany for letting me share it. She actually has her very own paranormal podcast, which I urge you guys to go and check out. You can find that by searching Tiff's Ghost Talk, or you can find it by clicking the link in the description of this episode. As always, my friends, it's been an honor and a privilege to be your host, and I will see you next week for another one. Sleep tight.